Welcome. My name is Dr. George Sparks, and I am a curator for archaeology and biblical history. There was a ever there's a notice in the newspaper today. I thought everybody would like to be interested in. It's about the antiquity looting going on in Jerusalem, and the Israeli police actually caught looters with Roman tile brick, probably about 2 dozen, in the trunk of their car. So I'd like to talk about that today. I think you'll find it interesting. So Israeli police in Jerusalem have seized dozens of clay pavement bricks with the imprints of the 10th Legion Equestrius. That means like horses, equestrian horses, meaning power and strength. The Legion 10 Equestrius during the raid against the Antiquity smugglers. Now we got another legion with a different stamp on the bricks, and it's called the 10th Legion of Fretensis, and that means iron. So we have the strength of the horse and Fretensis meaning iron. Both seals were on different bricks. The 10th Legion of Fretensis, the Legion of the Strait, was a legion of Imperial Roman army formed around 41 to 40 BC. The legion was centrally involved with the Great Jewish Revolt between 66 and 73 AD. The first of the three major rebellions by the Jews against the Roman Empire. By around 70 AD, the majority of the Roman rule had been reinstated in Judea, with the exception of a few fortresses and the significant city of Jerusalem. The 10th Legion of Fretensis also was joined by other legions, such as the 5th Macedonian, the 12th Fulminata, and the 15th Apollinaris legions, lay siege by the city. And after several of these battles of being sieged, they're talking about Jerusalem, the second temple, that's the temple of Herod, was destroyed. These are some tough names, huh? Like Fretensis, meaning iron, Equestrius, meaning horses. Well, they just have gang symbols like we do today, like L meaning 10, and maybe cross fingers like the 10th Legion. Wouldn't that be cool? Or the 5th Legion, that they don't do that. So, but that would be kind of cool. And think of the Roman legion coming, and here's these legions, thousands of soldiers, and they're attacking your city, but they're all wearing sandals. That's kind of odd when you think about it. They're all wearing sandals. You think, well, where'd you guys come from? California? But anyway, back to the looting. Jerusalem was thoroughly razed to the ground. This is according to Flavius Josephus. He was a historian and a contemporary with the time, if you will, the time of Jesus. So Jerusalem was thoroughly razed, he says, to the ground. That means destroyed. By those that demolished it to the foundation, nothing was left that could be persuaded by visitors that the place was even once inhabited. That means that just complete ruins. An operation by police at Beit Hanina, the neighborhood in East Jerusalem, has led to the discovery of several cartons in a car trunk containing the pavement bricks, the bricks that were more than likely part of a public building such as a bathhouse, a Roman bathhouse, which has since been looted in modern times and was headed for, if you will, for sale on the illegal antiquity trade market, or what we call the black market. The bricks date from around 2,000 years ago. That's the time of the destruction of the temple, and also is contemporaneous once again with the time of Jesus, shortly thereafter, and shows that the stamp on the brick of the 10th Legion of Fretensis, from which the 10th Legion built a military camp after Jerusalem's destruction. Now here's an individual, Amir Gan-Nor, director and the theft prevention unit at the Israeli Antiquity Authority, said that after the uprising, soldiers, meaning the 10th Legion, settled in the greater Jerusalem area, where they constructed workshops to make bricks, meaning that they had factories that made bricks so they could make structures for the military, such as the bathhouse. Another individual, Eli Esposito, director of the Israeli Antiquity Authority, stated discovering ancient bricks in the trunk of a car with fresh dirt and being displayed, that means fresh dirt being displayed on the bricks, he says, is heartbreaking. Why? Because it means it was recently done. If archaeologists had found the bricks on the site itself, meaning what we call in archaeology in situ, the place of its origin, we would have been able to gain information from the archaeological research, as well as add another archaeological site on the historical map of our country. Now he says we are left to try to find out through investigation and operations where these bricks were dismantled and looted from. Here's a picture of a brick that I just took a photo of on eBay. Now, I'm not saying that's an illegal brick or it's been smuggled, but this is just showing you that these items can be found on eBay and purchased. And I'm not saying if it's real or fake. If you buy something from the antiquity market and you don't know what you're doing, even though it has certification, it could be fake and you're going to spend a lot of money. I think this one I hear probably went for around $600. I've seen another one on the market for $1,500. So yes, they are expensive. Notice that the brick in this one case, on the upper right, it has an image of a swine, it was another symbol of the 10th Legion of Fretensis, which brings us to our biblical narrative, our study for today, because this is archaeology from the ground down. Remember the story where Jesus had an exorcism. And the exorcism seems to be popular today, but this was an exorcism of the Gerasene demoniac, or the demoniac of Gadara. Depends which gospel you read. Matthew chapter 28, verse 34. Mark chapter 5, verse 1 to 20. And Luke chapter 8, verse 28 to 39. I'll give us an interpretation of this event. Frequently known as the miracle of the Gerasene swine and the exorcism of the legion, is one of the miracles that were performed by Jesus according to the New Testament. Remember, they were going to go across the Sea of Galilee and the winds picked up and the disciples said, like, now we're going to drown. And Jesus was asleep in the boat, but he stands up and says, peace be still. And the winds and the seas obeyed him. And they said, what kind of man is this? And they thought they were safe. They were safe from the watery abyss. But as soon as they got out of that boat and they were heading to the east side, now the west side of the Sea of Galilee, where this is taking place, the west side was the side of the Jews. The east side was the side of the Decapolis, or the 10 Roman cities. All right. So this was Gentile. And this is where they found the demoniac on the Gentile side. And what happens? The man comes out and Jesus says it broke his chains, right? He broke his chains. So he's strong, he's powerful, just like in the movies. And then Jesus, he calms him down and then he says, come out of him, you unclean spirits. And the spirits say, well, can we go into the swine? Why the swine? Well, now get an idea why this is important, especially to the reader of that time, because the swine was a symbol also of the 10th Legion. And the swine go into the abyss. Now, the abyss at that time, a deep, dark ocean, is mysterious. And that's where the swine go. As a victory, you could say, by Jesus over, or who has the power over that unclean spirit. So we learned something even by these looted clay bricks. Hopefully you had fun. I did. They talked about a Roman bathhouse. And this is what we can find in a bathhouse. We can find the center device made out of bronze as a sturgill. And they would take these little round vessels, all right? I think they're called inguitariums, meaning they carried oil in them, or aerobolus. And they would pour oil on their bodies. And when it became warm, they would scrape it off with the sturgill. All right, that's what they did. Now, a hot bath. This is what it looks like. Now, what I'm just going to point out to you right now for time's sake is the cold room. And if you look very careful at the cold room, it has a really cool name. It's called a frigidarium, where we get our word refrigerator from today. So we learned something else. So with all excitement in this time period of looted antiquities, we've learned something. Also, I pulled something out of the museum inventory to also share with you. And let me, okay, this right here, can you see it? Is a fragment of a Roman clay brick, right? Just like in those that were looted, those that were found in the trunk. This might go, since it's fragmented, for maybe 800 bucks. If it was intact, it might go for 1,500. But if the antiquity dealers hold back so they don't flood the market, they could probably get $3,000 from a whole brick. And remember, it's the 10th Legion, all right? Of 10th Legion, there's your Legion 10 for. Let me go this way. I'm looking in reverse. Fortensis, right over here. LER, and then LEXFR for Legion 10th of Fortensis, the Legion of Iron. Okay, now let's share something else. Now, you saw in one of the slides some terracotta vessels used to hold the ointment or the oil or maybe even perfume. And here's some glass vessels from the museum collection. And this is just phenomenal. You notice the patina on it and the lovely color and the handles. And they would, now blowing glass actually became more frequent in the Roman period. And it's got the shape of a small amphora with handles. Amphora is a type of storage jar used during travel or maybe storage in a house. And then we saw a type of Arabolus. I believe that's what you call it. It's been a long time since I looked up these words. This is glass again. Look, it looks almost like a green glass. This is the applicator. So maybe what they had in this, if the applicator actually came with it, all right, maybe they had oil or maybe they had some type of cosmetic and they put it on their eyes. Both men and women during the Roman period used cosmetics. All right. So here we showed with you a number of different items. My name is George Sparks, and I'm with Biblical Archaeology in Bible Interact, and it's archaeology, of course, from the ground down. If you like, be sure to thumbs up, wrestle that thumb down, and also subscribe. Hope you have a great day, and stay tuned. We got some other stuff coming up that's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Thank you very much.